So our return home from Israel wasn't quite what we were expecting or planning. And, well, let's just say it had some interesting twists and turns and how it all worked out. We were originally supposed to return December 30th, and tickets booked together. We were ready to go, and due to circumstances, our return plans really got kind of tossed on their head. So Israel decided to declare the United States as a red country. Basically, that meant that Israeli citizens were not allowed to travel to it, nor were they allowed to return from it without quarantining and extra tests, and it really became a pain in the neck. Because of all that, it meant there was like a 2-day window from the time Israel announced this to the time they were going to cut it off. So they started hinting at this announcement on the 20th, and by midnight on the 21st, between the 21st and 22nd of December, boom, no more Israelis allowed to fly out, which meant those first 2 days at the airport were a madhouse. That didn't affect us so much because we were American citizens, but how it affected us was that with nobody in Israel flying, that meant that the flights coming in and out of Israel were going to be very small numbers on big planes, which is not cost effective for the airlines, which would mean canceled flights coming up and not knowing which flights were going to be canceled and when, and if an airline was going to cancel all of their flights. And it turned our return home from a nice, easy trip to a very iffy one. So in consultation with our friends there and in a lot of discussion, the decision was made, okay, we better come home early. We decided to come home on the 23rd. Yes, 2 days before Christmas. Well, technically the 22nd, 23rd. Partially because it was right after the Israeli deadline hit. That means that we weren't fighting with the Israeli citizens for those seats because they flooded and mobbed the airport. But it would mean that there's a plane there because they'd have to take it back to the U.S. So it turned into some interesting situations. One, to come back to the U.S., you have to have a COVID test within 24 hours before getting on your plane. So we made an appointment at a place that we could get our test, a 4-hour result back, scheduled it for about 7 hours before we're supposed to come back. Also, because of the way our flight situation was and knowing it's the holidays in the U.S., which is a madhouse, it meant our standby tickets, where you fill in an empty seat on a plane, become real iffy. And I mean, real iffy. So what we decided to do was book my wife on a flight home through basically the best ticket we could find, and that ended up being on a different airline from mine. So I decided to keep the cheap standby ticket, knowing that it could mean I may or may not get home at the same time or a different time, and I didn't know what my route was, while my wife got to take the regular book ticket, so she got all the luggage, so that way we knew it would get home. And then we arrived at the airport to check her in because she's flying out an hour before me. And that's when the adventure begins. So we're here at the airport, waiting to check in. Gates are open. It's not quite 3 hours from my wife's flight. We took our 4-hour PCR COVID test 4.5 hours ago. Almost 4 hours, 45 minutes ago. Results still aren't in. Mine are in lab, hers are inspected, but they haven't given us the actual results, so we can't check in yet. So we're sitting here waiting at a coffee bar. We got the supervisor, her airline, working away, trying to get it to happen while we wait. Thankfully, at least for us, there's no crowds tonight. We think that the testing place may have let everybody go because last night was a madhouse. Because last night all the Israelis could fly out. So here we sit and we wait. The good news is, once it does come in, we should be pretty close, or pretty quick through everything. But come on, guys, 4.5 hours, almost 5 for your 4-hour test. My son took 2. All right, so after all that, about 10 minutes after I recorded the last segment, in came the results. So we're good. We are past passport control. We're actually heading to my wife's gate first to get her set, and then I will check mine because I'm on standby. So lots of seats on the plane. Tried to see if I couldn't con them into giving my wife a nice cheap free upgrade, but that didn't happen.
It's all good.
But we will still get all set here. Almost there. So if you ever get to fly out of Ben Gurion, after you're past passport control, this is kind of your central hub. Each letter leads off to different gates, and you can see lots of shopping, lots of space to relax and eat. The fountain is turned off, which is sad because it's a pretty fountain. So we are going to get my wife oriented and then maybe get a bite. So my wife just got on her flight, took off. That was her gate right there. So she is in the air at this point. I just got my seat assignment since I'm flying standby. And I'm going to be spoiled. Yeah, that is the super fancy first class. So this will be a first for me. And so I'll try and show it off. I will make up for it later when I'm trying to find seats in the States to get where I want to go. That's going to be a challenge 2 days before Christmas. But this flight, at least out, there's only like 60 people on it, 60 or 70. So lots of room, lots of space, and that meant I got a very nice seat for the really long flight. 12 hours coming up here, and we're like 11:30. We're supposed to be boarding here in 20 minutes. So this will be fun. It's going to be a choice between sleeping and playing because this will be neat. So I'll show you what I got coming up. Okay, so let me show this off. This is my seat. Cubby, footrest, power stuff, kit, entertainment system, full pillow, blanket, bedding. That's my pillow. It's got a cubby there. This is just crazy. But this is going to make it amazing for this flight. So 12 hours. This seat lays down, but I'll be able to plug everything in and do everything I want. So yeah, this whole thing swings out. Very cool. Oh yes, first class. This is nuts. How about a pre-flight cup of orange juice? I could have had wine too, but I don't drink. While we wait to get ready to take off here, thought I would show you the menu. And yeah, to say that it is nice is an understatement. Yeah, that looks really yummy. And then, so not only do you have that, beverages are all complimentary. There are snacks available during the flight. And even before I took off, a pre-flight glass of orange juice. It's lush. Oh, and then there's the goodie bag, which I haven't opened up yet. So let's see if we can do this. So it's a little bit of a latch to get out, but inside you have, let's see, sleeping mask. You have a pair of socks. You have, let's see, an ad. There is a pen. Toothbrush. And earplugs. And lotion. Very nice little kit. And somewhere around headphones as well. Yeah, you get spoiled up here. This first class seat is insane. Wonderful nice. 2 windows. It looks like a game console, but this is actually to control your TV and entertainment center. Noise canceling headphones, which are very comfortable. And yes, look out the window at Tel Aviv as we get ready to take off. It's raining a bit, it's wet, but such a pretty view out the window. Made for a wonderful flight out. So here's another look at the actual control console. and it plugs right into the wall. You can use it there, although it's upside down, which is weird. The TV pops out, big TV. This is like a 27-inch TV. And the meal, real glass for your glass. Multiple courses. I thought this was the main course. This is actually just the pre-course. Here's your main. Oh my goodness, this was good. It was really good. And bathrooms you can use. This is a assisted facility, but it's big. You can move around, stretch your legs, and yes, lots of snacks. You got a whole snack area in the back just for first class passengers, with fruit and cheeses and drinks that were there. This is open for you anytime. You got a wonderful map that shows you exactly where you are. It's also a great place to just stretch your legs and get ready, because once you land, then you get to deal with customs and immigration in the U.S. Yeah, passport photo. Whee!
All right, well, that was fun and amazing. Actually all done. Hopped off the plane. Being first class made it quick and easy. We were actually one of the very first ones through customs, because we actually had to wait on the plane for them to open it. Cruised through customs in a hurry. Didn't have to check baggage, so that was quick. TSA pre-check made it quick. Since they let us off the plane, it has been here. It hasn't been very long. It hasn't even been a half hour. And I'm hitting the wrong stuff, but you get a look at JFK. But yeah, less than 30 minutes to get off the plane, through passport control, through customs, through security to recheck, and now I'm on my way to the gate. And there's actually open seats on my next planes, so I am excited. I'm going to be home tonight. Yay! I'll be home for Christmas. So now it's time to play the standby game. So because I got through everything early, I went ahead and I stopped by the early flight, because there's actually a flight scheduled before mine that's got a couple seats open and a list of people waiting. But my flight, just in the short time I've been here, has gone from 8 seats down to 2. So I went ahead and asked them if they'd list me on this flight. Supposedly I have like a 75 to 80% chance of getting on this early flight, which will definitely give me Charlotte, and then I'll be home, versus trying to bounce through every flight later. But yeah, you kind of bounce around, you see what's open. If it doesn't open, then you go down to the next one. So we will wait and see here in about 30 minutes if I make it on or so. I hope 30 to 45. I may be one of the last. And welcome to Charlotte. I did get on the first plane. I actually had exit row seat, so I had a little bit of leg room, which was nice because my legs are twitching in halfway through. But so now I've got 3.5 hours or so till boarding for my next flight. It's got empty seats, so I'm going to be home. But you can see how busy it is there. Yeah, look at all those people. And right in the middle of that is the customer service line for everybody having problems, because this is a terrible time to travel if you don't have to. But it's all working out for me, so I'm hungry, tired, haven't slept, and I'm going on probably close to 30 hours now. But I need some food first, and we'll see if we can get a nap in somewhere. So I will say this about this part of Charlotte. Boy, this part of the airport here looks very similar to Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport. There's definitely some similarities. I wonder if it was an inspiration. And welcome back to the States. Barbecue brisket, smoked turkey, potato wedges, corn, and cornbread, and Dr. Pepper. Yum, yum. So now it's back home. Got a seat on my flight to Springfield. Nice and easy. Got a great seat, which was nice. I actually napped a little bit at the Charlotte airport. I probably dozed off for about an hour and a half at the airport, and then I would guess I got another hour or so of sleep on the plane. So I'm actually feeling pretty decent, everything considered. 24 hours travel plus 12 full hours before that. So yeah, doing all right now. Waiting for my mother to pick me up. Margaret will get in a little bit later. We did actually rent her a minute suite at Atlanta for 3 hours, so she could try to get some sleep. Help her get through, because she was apparently wiping out. So it's like, we'll spend a little bit of money and help you get through. So I will actually see her tomorrow. She's gonna Once she gets in Springfield, she's going to go over and stay at her son's, who doesn't live very far from the airport, and get a nice quiet night's sleep, and then come over to the house tomorrow. But wonderful trip. And the funny thing was, 2 days before Christmas, flying standby, fully expected my schedule to get shuffled all over the place. Expected to maybe get stuck in New York for the night, or Charlotte for the night, or maybe end up in Chicago, or through DC to St. Louis, and actually ended up with the perfect route and the perfect seats. Oh, that was nice. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at my trip home, and that it was fun and interesting for you. Thanks so much, everybody, for helping make it happen. For my patrons, for the support, the YouTube members, because so much of this happened because of them. And I want to give a very special shout out to one of my patrons that we will call Voldemort, because he doesn't want to be named. But a lot of this trip home was thanks to him. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for watching. Hope this blessed you. Have a Merry Christmas and God bless.